Okay, let's. Hey there, James.
Hey,
We're getting ready to start. I'm just getting. Yeah, get your good side there.
what was that?
Trying to get your good side there.
Yeah, I always feel like I'm off center with the camera. So,
Okay, I'm just waiting
so,
for it
so
to.
hold on, let me turn the volume up.
I'm waiting for it to switch over on our live feed. So let me just check while that's.
So we got about 4 more minutes.
Yep. Let me see it. It shows. There we go. Now I see us there on YouTube. Looks like we got a little bit of a delay. Let me go ahead and get ready to. Is there anything that you kind of want to announce or chat about before we get started?
Yeah, probably we should wait till.
Till
Uh,
6:30. Give it
yeah,
3 minutes.
yeah, I don't want to announce anything
Okay.
and people miss it. Well, I guess it's
Except for the replay too.
yeah, it's on replay. Um, I wonder
Let me get ready to add my screen in here too.
holographic stickers if I could just.
Yeah, I thought about showing that too. Wasn't sure that mine was the best example yet there.
You can show it. I mean, it's.
Let me see if I can find it. I don't know. It might have taken off on me.
Let me see if I can find. I stuck mine on the Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup. So.
Oh. So one of the new things we're testing out this week and hope to make available hopefully by next week as we get it kind of situated with our plotter here is a holographic sticker that that shiny kind of silver metally looking ones that everyone loves. And the great thing is, I think James is saying that the price on it was going to be pretty close to our other sticker prices. So I'm going to take off my background. We're doing this today from our offices. Let me see if I can do my camera. Let's see. Let's take off the virtual background. I think it just looks a little choppy there. Just give it a blur so it doesn't have to be
I couldn't find
there.
where Foster put those, and mine's a little mangled. I guess I can still.
Yeah, mine was a little mangled too.
So I guess we can.
I've been sort of telling people that this is something we're testing this week to get its printing technique down.
Actually, the printing technique is good. So I
Well,
guess
the plotter.
yeah, we can start talking about it.
And I notice I'm kind of
And
stopping. Is my audio okay though, James?
there's a delay.
I'm seeing a delay on live too. Let me just double check what I'm on. I am on customer service, so okay.
There's like a
And
2
and I
second.
think yeah, I think you froze right there too. So hopefully the audio
Um,
is at least picking up.
the audio is picking up, but your
Movement isn't.
is moving differently from the audio. It's not sync.
Yeah. Let me see really quick too.
Why don't you try on a different computer? Because I'm wondering if it's your computer.
Oh gosh, that would take a little bit of setting up. Hold on. Let me just try this to make it a little better. Might be that I have a bazillion things opened.
Yeah, you probably have too many things open.
I would not doubt that. Let me see really quick here though. Okay. Hopefully it's not as noticeable because really most of this will be screen share anyways. As
Mm, okay. All
long
right.
as the
Well,
audio is pretty decent. And so yeah, we were talking about stickers, James, that we have coming up.
so yeah, you're still way out of sync
Yeah.
audio. Maybe try re. I don't know if you can try restarting your computer.
Oh, it'll take the feed down.
Oh well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do the best we can. Hopefully, this
Yeah, like
works.
I said, as long as the audio is okay, and the sharing is okay, then that is really what we just need to kind of show today.
Yeah. So okay. Well, so I guess we'll just get started and we'll make the best of it. Uh, so last first Tuesday or last month, we ended up having to cancel because
Yeah.
our guest speaker canceled on us, and we really weren't prepared for that. We didn't have a topic ready to discuss. For those of you that are new to FinerWorks, one of the things we try to do is every first Tuesday we try to provide some helpful tips to our artists and photography users. Many people come to FinerWorks because FinerWorks provides a business related service. They're not just most people that order from FinerWorks are not just ordering a picture of their, you know, uh, their kids that to hang on the wall. They're not ordering the, vacation photos, although we do get a lot of people ordering those. And we print a lot of people's vacation photos and uh, pictures of their pet dog and so forth. Uh, Generally, the vast majority of orders, however, out of the thousands of files that we're processing on a daily basis, are meant to be prints or for prints that are going to be sold either online in a traditional gallery environment, art show, et cetera. Matter of fact, uh, just recently uh, a handful of our employees participated at an art show that was actually put on by our own Zane Thomas. Now he manages this show that happens once a year called
The paper
uh,
trails.
the paper trail. Yeah, and so we had a number of our other employees, participate as well. And one of the things that many of them did is decide to order some of the vinyl stickers that we offer, and it reminded me that we kind of had put on the back burner some of the plans that we had with the stickers. And now one of the things, and Melissa, you can kind of scroll down on the screen, you can see we uh, after that, I decided we need to really kind of uh, ramp up our sticker options and what people are seeing so they better understand what we're offering. And we do produce a lot of stickers for artists and photographers because stickers are a great way for self promotion. They're something fun, a fun way to present your artwork. And I don't care if you're a photographer or a painter. That there's different options. We have contour cut stickers. which is like die cut stickers, as sometimes people call them. We have round or oval. We call them elliptical shaped stickers, and also square or rectangular stickers. And they can be in any custom size in whole inches. Um, but it reminded me that we've been sitting on some rolls of media for holographic stickers. Now, holographic stickers have, unlike what our True Gloss, which has a white gloss background, the holographic stickers, and have I don't have a good example to show you, but I'll try my best. It's on my coffee cup.
Mm.
I got mangled when we were uh, testing the pressure on the cutter on it. But a holographic sticker is going to have kind of an iridescent quality to it. In other words, the white is going to be kind of rainbow reflective, have a rainbow reflective gloss. So I'm holding it up here. I don't know if you can kind of see on my cup my coffee cup. Does that show up well?
Let me go ahead and just put it to this
Maybe.
view here so that we can see you a little. There we go.
So it's not the best example, but as you can see, it kind of shimmers and so forth, and that's real popular with artists. So we are going to have that. We hope to actually have that live today, but we had discovered when we were doing the final tests on cutting those out that we had the pressure off on our kiss cuts when we're cutting out the so you can easily peel away the sticker. Holding it up here, and I'm hearing my voice in the background.
Sorry, I thought I had hit mute there. I was trying to check. We have some people saying that they're hearing an echo, but I'm not catching the echo here on the live. I'm checking the live stream off of YouTube. So I'm not too sure where that echo might be coming from because I'm not catching an echo.
Are you able to stream uh, from your phone, log your
Um,
phone, and then maybe so
I
you're
might be able to. I think I have to. I've never tried it, but I'm not sure. I had myself on mute, and there was the echo coming through. So, and they get the echo on Facebook Live as well. Okay.
yeah,
Let's
something's
see.
going
And
on with your audio.
Soren, um, and you're hearing the echo on both of us, on both our audio. So yours as well is making an echo. I pulled up YouTube here, and I'm playing it. That's why I had closed off my thing so I could turn on the audio, but I wasn't hearing the echo on my feed of it. So
Huh.
I don't know. I know there's a lot actually going on in the social media world right now too. Um,
So that's kind of what we're here to talk about. So I guess we should start talking about what's going on
yeah.
with social media. I talked about stickers, and oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention. Hopefully, these iridescent stickers will be available for people to order within another few days, um, and we'll probably have a nice sale on those. And we are also going to be sending out samples whenever a person places an order. We'll send a sample to them. That's as long as it's not a drop ship order. If it's a drop ship order, we're not going to send a sample for obvious reasons. But if you're ordering prints for yourself, and we see that the billing and basically the name on the billing and the shipping is the same, we'll include some sample stickers for you to see, and we'll do that over the next week or so.
Yeah. I'm noticing just on uh, my StreamYard that a little Wi-Fi connection kind of pops up there where you see the live and the viewer number. when I mouse over, it's just telling me to probably plug into Wi-Fi. So I'm not sure if that is an issue here.
Or,
Hopefully, we're going to try our best, like I said, to go on this and
how are you connected right now? Are you connected to the?
Wi-Fi customer service. So
Okay, maybe
should be
try
the
global.
strongest one.
Maybe check switch to global. That might be.
Well, again, it might drop the stream. Um, what this is also being recorded on my computer. So if it, I will go back and check the audio on this, and if it is really bad, then um, I can go ahead. I think I take this recording off of my computer, straight off my computer, and upload that over. But we'll try and, like I said, best we can. Soren, thank you for letting us know. And like I said, if anybody else is watching, you're watching live, just drop in the chat where you're watching from, just so we have an idea of where everybody is coming from, what time zones. So in the chat, just put where you're watching from. And again, if you're having echo issues, I do apologize. We're gonna try to just get through this as best we can. Let me click over to here. And like I said, there is a lot going on actually with social media. One of the things right now is with Facebook, and Facebook does own Instagram, and Facebook also became Meta. And and me and James were discussing it today. I think Facebook, in its strive to be every possible social um, media platform, in a way, is kind of making itself flail a little bit right now. Um, there's things they were trying to change up with Instagram to make it more competitive with TikTok, and it received really negative feedback. So they're trying to pull that rollout back from beta users that were using it, that it had more of a look like TikTok where it filled up your screen. Um, there's a lot of functionality, I guess, issues going on too with that, as well as Facebook. I know for me on my end, just trying to get into my Facebook with their two-factor authentication code is just, it has been causing issues for me to stay logged in with the many integrated platforms that I have with it. This one being included, this is how we kind of get our stream out there. Um, so it is really kind of just difficult. I'm going to have James kind of watch those comments as they're coming in and just let me know if there's anything I need to be aware of. So with all of that going on, Facebook's just really shuffling. They're kind of the granddaddy right now of the social platforms that's still around. They're the ripe old age, I think, of 18 now, which to me has always impressed me. When MySpace and everything kind of came out, I was really thinking the life of a social platform would be about 5 years, and basically the demographic would age out of it. And if you didn't find a new way to cultivate that new group of younger generations coming in, you were going to probably fade out as a social media platform. Um, so it's been interesting to see what Facebook does. You know, like I said, while they do have their issues, they're still one of the most largest used social platforms. Um, so today I'm just going to talk about uh, where the state of social media kind of is today, which has changed. It's been about, I want to say, over a year since I did a social media topic one on here. And social media, like anything with technology, SEO, it changes. It seems almost daily. And James, you work on the website platform. I'm sure you can kind of give an affirmation to that, if it of technology, coding, strategies, anything, techniques and stuff like that does change quite rapidly.
Yeah, it does, but you know the uh, right now, and I think you're going to probably talk some more about it about the Web 3.0.
Mhm.
But when you look at the technology behind what's driving websites, and how people build websites, how people manage websites, whether it be for their the company they work for displaying their artwork. That stuff has is not seeing the changes and turmoil that I think social media is seeing right now. Social media is flying at a much faster rate uh, than than just general website stuff. Give you an example. Right now, Web 3.0, and you're seeing websites are looking at adopting Web 3.0 technologies. Um, and and what does that mean? We and, as someone that's been a web programmer in the past, I can tell you that no one knows exactly what it means. Okay, but I will tell you this: is there are those that are in the social media arena that are driving it, and the web developers, those that are dependent on, there's people promote themselves two different ways online, via social media or via their own website, or they do both. Okay, but those are the two real platforms: social media and web development. Social media is barreling down the road, focused toward Web 3.0, and web developers are kind of following along, trying to figure out, okay, what is that going to mean for them, and how do they implement it? And I think that's what we're seeing is so you see the web, you see social media moving at a much faster rate when it comes to making changes. And I think this year in 2022, we're seeing a lot more. I mean, I think it's speeding up, and and I, and I think you're going to talk about this, but and we kind of talked about it. Is are they, do they know what they're speeding into? And I don't think they know. Um, so
I, I
that's
think it. I think there's the idea of what they want to hit, and I think the logistics of what they want to hit are on two separate pages.
oh, sure,
So
sure.
that's
And
probably the best way to kind of sum up what's kind of going on right now.
and that's not an easy thing, from a programmer's standpoint. you know let's say you want to, have a way of showing augmented reality or virtual reality, and you invest all this money to make that happen. Okay, but you don't know whether or not it's going to work, whether or not it's going to take off. A small independent web developer that's building your website, or helping you showcase your artwork, you know it's going to be much harder for them to adopt these technologies if they're not already built. And so I think a lot of uh, designers and developers are hoping that uh, social media kind of leads the way.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. So I kind of went to Sprout Social, which Sprout Social is um, a social media management platform that you can use to kind of schedule posts, kind of lets you get your ROI, your return on investment on your post, right? Because everything has to have analytics to it to justify. There's a lot of them out there. And at the same time, it's I want to say analytics, even in social media, is becoming as cloudy as Nielsen, which I used to work in for about 12 years in television marketing research. It's coming about as cloudy as that. And the reason I say that is because Nielsen, it was never a true census. It was like, here, we're going to take 40 boxes in this area and assume this is what the average household is watching. And they have their algorithm on how that was going to work. and I think we're seeing that a lot because of bogus accounts that are created on social media platform, which is another hindrance for social media. That it really has to find a way um, to get over, because it's really something that can offer really true census analytics, because you're able to kind of verify really accounts. You can, they just really have to go in there and provide a, I want to say, a credibility to their numbers, and they have really, I want to say, the tools to do it. But it's always a numbers game. They're still really in advertising, and advertising is numbers. So let's look at some of those numbers. As of January 2022, there are 3.96 billion social media users across the platforms, right? The average person is said to have bounced between 7 different socials. Now, I do social media kind of as my job. So for me, that's understandable. There's quite a bit I do bounce around from. One, it's to keep up kind of with the trends on it, see what's going on different platforms. So if you're watching, let me know how many in the comments, put how many social media platforms you are signed up to, just to kind of
I
get things.
would, I
And if
would
you're
like,
watching this on the replay, also comment with how many social media platforms you are on.
yeah,
Um,
I'd also like to know what social media platforms people are on. You
yeah,
know,
put the ones, the top three that you spend the most time on.
mm,
For me, it's still Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and Twitter still follows behind. I want to say I do Twitter more for my my news, and probably following social media. I think Saren is there, said 4 on there. He's got Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And I want to say it's probably a lot of people um, will do that too. I'm going to just put that on there, Soren, so people can see their thing on there. So,
no,
how about you, James? How many social? I know you're not a big social media person, so
I guess I'm not, but I mean, I know I have an Instagram account, uh, a Facebook account, but I don't, I don't
a
get on
LinkedIn account. You have a LinkedIn account there.
the. Yeah, I probably do. Yeah, yeah. But I think that maybe those three. I probably, I think I even have a Twitter account, but I never use Twitter. Speaking of which, a lot of artists don't use Twitter, and why is that?
I think it's because of it not being a, when it started, 120 characters, very text heavy based, and it lacked that visual component
Mm,
that I think, one, is just something that Instagram really uh, appealed to many in the creative and art communities. So I think that was why, Twitter was like that. Instagram really became, I want to say, the artist, photographer, the visual appreciator kind of Twitter, because there's so much you can communicate with an image. And I think that's why Instagram grew in its popularity, and ultimately how it gained its base and made it, I want to say, a kind of a target for Facebook to go ahead and purchase. Um, so it's interesting to see what Facebook and their acquisition of it has started doing with it, because at least they didn't dismantle it, which is sometimes what some social media companies will do, is they'll buy some of these smaller up and coming social media platforms and just let them die, because then it's, you don't have to kind of have that competition there. So there is the fact that they kind of kept it, I think, was an acknowledgement that that's really where, at that time, where social media was going, was a very visual, strong visual base. Facebook kind of was this in between Twitter, in between Instagram kind of thing, and was trying to build what you'll see in Web3 is trying to do, is a community. And because communities generate, uh, I want to say, authentic content uh, that is going to get most engagement. And I think that's why um, Facebook has kind of even still lasted, although in
But
their strive
but
to kind of keep advertisers in the front of the eyeballs of their users, they're really killing that community. You don't see
but
the things that
y-
you want to engage with.
don't you think that that concept of building a community, it's almost like that's waning, or that's on its way out, because when you look at social media services like TikTok, or I guess you can throw Snapchat in there, they're not about building communities. They're about just building followers to
Well,
look at
that's
content.
what's I think that's
Not
what they're waning in, and I think that's where Web3 is coming in because Web3 is trying to be on that community base, which you have your NFT community right now that's really pushing the Web3.
Mhm.
Um, and that's what they kind of strive for is kind of building these virtual spaces for community. Community is always going to be something coming back. It's like I tell people there's a lot of people who say, social media it's bad because it can, easily influence. It can do it's really neutral. It's the users and how they use it. It's like if you had a megaphone and a right person trying to get a crowd out of a building and able to speak out and give direction, that's, a really good use of the tool. Having somebody on a bullhorn who is maybe shouting fire in a crowded theater, bad use of it. The megaphone itself is neutral. It is kind of how the user ends up utilizing it. So to me, social media can be it's just a neutral another new megaphone. It's all it is. The same thing when radio came in and rock and roll was corrupting the young, and television came in and made us idiots. And there was every media kind of gets a little bit of a criticism on there, but every generation's going to have, I want to say, their media outlet, and it's going to change. Um, so I really think community is always going to still be at the core because you still behind all of these users are humans. And one of the basic needs for humans is interaction and, connection with each other. We're social creatures by nature. So community, I think, is always going to be at the base of any social media platform. It's just something it's innate. It has to happen, and that's the appeal of it. So even though there's this anonymity where you see in cyberbullying and stuff like that, it's again how that user is named. But at the core of it, people want to find like-minded individuals to kind of communicate with. And I think that's why community is going to always be something on most social platforms. How do we create this? Um, there's also a lent of credibility in doing that. If you know your neighbor, like I want to say, I know a lot of my friends from high school. And we still kind of all talk on there. I can tell immediately when they've been hacked and it's a bot post coming on, because I know who they are. And I know when I get a genuine review from one of them telling me, I used this, AC guy and he came really quick in the middle of the night. And, me and my husband's name, whatever, you can tell that voice on there, on a social platform as you get to know people. So there's a credibility in having that community because you're able to advertisers and platforms are able to borrow you as a user, as a creator, to go ahead and get messages out to other. That's how, again, when we were talking about James, like the during the election period and the fake accounts that were pushing bogus news stories out. Anybody can do that. That's why they were hijacking people's accounts and doing that because anything you see on the internet, I would like to hope, and if you're, and the younger generation, and maybe that hasn't been taught to you, always question everything you read. Try to find a credible source before you put it out there. Um, that is going to be the thing the most. People, it headlines are made. A lot of people will even post a news article before opening and reading it, and a headline. And this is really sad because I went to school with journalism, and when I got into newspapers and broadcasting, your headline has to be a hook. It has to pull in that reader. And it's like, you start to catch how it is a very still wanting to be advertiser friendly, still wanting to be a platform that you're going to have people who are coming on and reading these things. Clickbait, right? Big thing that came out of all of these things became clickbait. Like they'll show like, let's say Stranger Things, the image will be Stranger Things, which is one of the most popular Netflix shows on there. And the headline will read 21 Netflix shows being canceled. You know, of course, because they've married it with the image, which you go in and you read the article, and Stranger Things is not a, a show being canceled. They got you with the clickbait. And then as you go into their thing, you see all of these ads. And because you're scrolling, trying to look for, is it true? Is my favorite show about to be canceled? You're giving eyeballs or counts to those ads that they have placed in there. So that's, like I said, that's why I say there's like, I try to have my credible news sources that I will go ahead and use. And really, I end up using probably Twitter a little bit more. I'll click the link because I'm already following XYZ station or newspaper or Associated Press, or there's my credible sources that I feel are credible, and I will go read news stories through there. Um, so that's part of the appeal of social media, is you as a user are basically giving credibility to these posts by sharing them. And that's what a lot of the platforms want, because they're able then to sell to advertisers, boost your post. And I think if you've used the business thing, they'll give you some of the tips on how to write your post. But to me, it's always so misleading. And to me, I think that has put a distrust in people using social media.
Now, what about artists? I mean, isn't there a temptation for artists to try to utilize that a similar technique to promote their
There,
artwork?
there is. I mean, I had an artist and I were talking one day, and I was showing her some other artists, some other female artists that are there, and some of them are not only are they just talented, they're also very beautiful. And some will go ahead and, they are into yoga and swimming and stuff, so they paint in swimsuits. And you know, this other artist was like, well, if I had that body and that look and I could paint in swimsuits like that, yeah, I'd have, a million followers too. Um, which is a point, because I mean, some people, say, do you feel like as an artist you're selling out by um by showcasing yourself that way? And if you're an artist that does any of that, let let us know, because this is like a great topic that I have to see. I say no. I'm going to say, if that is not who they are when you meet them in public, if that's not how they carry themselves, then yeah, it's a little bit of a sellout, I would think. But is it getting them the views? I don't know. I say yes. I say whatever you can do to get eyeballs on you. You used to have shock artists that would do stuff, and New York performance artists that would be out there that would do shock stuff with like the color of blood or whatever, and toss it all over the places. It's not new. It's just the platform you're using is new. But shock, to get other people to see you and your art, is something that's been around a long time. Um, But I think some artists will. They'll lean towards those things to go ahead and do it. Some will buy the followers, and you'll start to
Are you
learn
getting
that they'll
yeah,
analytics will penalize you for it.
yeah, and you might not find yourself getting
Any
quality followers. If of course, I don't wear a bikini when I paint, but I did. I get a lot of followers, and but they probably wouldn't be followers that I would be wanting to buy my artwork. Let's put it that way.
Well, and also honestly, as when some of these people go into the buying of the followers and stuff, what you did is you just bought a bunch of bots. It's like if you made cutouts of people. The cutouts have no money. The cutouts have no interest in your art, and they're not going to engage well with your art. So that's gonna, like I said, I think if you go to those tactics, you're going to find that they just don't work. And when you start to look at, again, back to the numbers, how long people are on social media, 95 minutes per day, but yet we have the shortest attention spans. Videos have to be, I think a lot of them used to be like 15 seconds. Now it's 30. I think TikTok is starting to roll out a 10-minute video format. Um, but I think that's just showing really that people will stay if the content is good.
If it's
And
good.
that's how you can have these longer video formats.
Yeah.
And
Now,
so
now, part of one of the things we're doing is we're trying to put together more video, but most of those and are what, you know,
our
30 seconds maybe or
yeah,
so. That's kind of what we're, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
our social, we do really small, short videos, but mostly, and we'll talk about it as we're going in on the strategy of the video usage. I'll use content created by our customers. One, because there's no better, advertising really than word of mouth, and
Mhm.
having our me and James could tell you also how great we think the company is, how great we think our products are, but the credibility when it comes from another artist, another photographer that recommends us, it tells you, when you get those gasps when people open up their unbox and they see their art print, that's something neither James nor I could ever convey to you, to where you would feel that is authentic enough to, as you would when it comes from another customer, a fellow artist or photographer.
Yeah.
And so that's one reason I utilize y'all's videos. And my Texas is showing right there. Y'all use your videos
Yes.
um,
Yes.
when you guys are talking about us on social.
So, so
Yeah.
social platforms by the numbers. So tell me about this. What is,
Okay, I started looking. I wanted to just to check on here where everything, because everybody's on about TikTok. It is one of the fastest growing. That is no lie. It jumps. It's huge jumps and stuff. And which, Instagram, Facebook, we saw good jumps when they all start too. A new platform is going to have, I want to say, exponential growth if it works. But when you go and you still look, they have the average monthly users for Facebook is still 2.9 billion, and Instagram at 1 billion. YouTube still, which has been around a long time, 2.56 billion. TikTok right now is at 885 million. And then I wanted to look at the time spent on these. I couldn't grab a good number for YouTube that wasn't like was in a monthly view kind of thing. It was giving me a whole bunch of annual numbers, so I kind of excluded that. But Facebook, you have on a month, people are going to spend about an average of 19.6 hours
a month?
a month. hmm
Wow.
Instagram about 11 hours, and TikTok 19.6 hours. I want to say YouTube's probably going to be a little bit higher because of its content. I go there a lot to teach myself skills, things I don't know. If there's something in Photoshop I forgot, or there's a new technique in Photoshop that I'm not really good at using, I'll go to YouTube and watch a video and do that tutorial kind of with it. Tutorials, I think, probably keep YouTube really going. It really is a nice little search engine for those of us who are visual learners to utilize. The next thing you got to look at on all of these platforms, and as artists, y'all have to kind of really think about just the same way as advertisers do, is the demographics of those. So you look at the age of Facebook, and we were talking about this earlier, James. So 41% of Facebook users are going to be 45 plus. 31% are going to be in that 25 to 34. Instagram is 50%, over 50% is going to be under 35. YouTube, 77%, and this was kind of interesting, are 15 to 25, which is because you have so many of these content creators that are going there. I also think it's the age where you really want to go learn some other skills on there.
Well,
And I think it's the platform for entrepreneurs.
well, I can tell you, being the father of a 10-year-old little girl, that for the past 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer, YouTube is is on nonstop on her iPad
Yeah.
when she has her iPad, and she's watching all these. She's primarily there's all these kids videos. I mean, there's a whole YouTube
Yep.
devoted just to kids, and
And
so
they've
she,
done a good job with that too,
yeah,
though there's still some things that seep through, but, you
yeah,
know,
but
us
generally, yeah, but generally these kids are watching, other kids playing with toys,
boys,
or adults even playing with
yeah,
toys. Uh, uh, like with, I mean, there's literally professional, I don't know what you call them, professional adults playing with toy videos where there'll be a lady with a doll telling a story in a doll house. It's just insane what they're doing. And I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the entertainment value, but the the children love it. And so
they do.
uh
It's well, my daughter, she's 25,
yeah,
and
it's
I
nothing.
never understood this,
Yeah,
her generation growing up, because 'cause I'm not a big avid gamer, and she can sit and watch a 24-hour stream of a couple of guys watching and playing video games.
yeah. And she does that, Roblox and Minecraft, watches these
Mhm.
videos. There's a lot of content out there for kids to watch where they spend. The problem I think many parents have is getting their kids off of YouTube.
It is. It's an addiction. I
So
think it's funny,
I would
Steve
say,
Jobs never let his kids have iPads.
yeah, I kind of have some regrets. But going back to the
Demographics.
time spent on the particular platforms, I would say by far YouTube has to. I mean,
I wanna say too, it was a big number on the annual numbers, and I was like, "Wow, that's a lot," but,
yeah,
um, I wanted to kinda keep them all in this monthly one here.
yeah.
TikTok is, as you can see, is actually very competitive with Facebook at 19.6 hours as well. But
Mhm.
then go look at the demographics on this, okay? 25% are 10 to 19. The other 22% are that 20 to 29. So you're looking at an almost half of their, if not more, of their users are under 30
So
on TikTok,
20 so 25% of TikTok users
are 10 to
uh,
19.
weren't may not even, well, Facebook has been around for almost 20 years, right?
Mhm. It's
So
18 years old.
25% of those users were
We're not
either
born.
babies or not born, or not born when Facebook came out.
That's right.
It's-
Crazy.
yeah. Huh. And then the other 22% were too young to really uh, know what Facebook was until 10 years ago, I guess.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
bet you though they knew what YouTube was though, because
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, some of those videos that I've seen my daughter watch are probably at least 10 years old.
yeah, yeah. My nieces, are probably like, 7 and 5, and they have been using YouTube already for a couple of years. So they already know how to make their favorite playlist, everything. So it's just crazy and baffling to see them kind of navigate through that when they were so little. But talking about, social media, we want to talk about some of the trends and stuff. I want you guys to be able to walk away with some, strategy ideas from this video. One trend that is just never going to go away, no matter what social platform, as we were talking about earlier, community kind of is what is going to keep pushing social media platforms. And it's going to be always growing your audience and reaching new people. That's one trend you're going to always have to, find how that is going on, how you're going to get those numbers. Um, the other thing is going to be the most popular stuff on any of these platforms is always user generated content. I think TikTok probably got sent over the moon with, and it's funny, it wasn't a 10 or 19-year-old really. You remember that gentleman that was on his skateboard, on his longboard, and he's playing a Fleetwood Mac song. And what do you call it? He's skateboarding and stuff, and he was drinking a juice with it, and it just went viral. And viral means it even escaped the platform. It was on news outlets. It's crazy what goes viral. Um, but and like I said, it's the simplest thing. His car broke down and he just got on a skateboard, grabbed some juice, and put this song on while he's skateboarding. And the guy became an overnight, pseudo celebrity just for that. So it's what will make a person go viral. There's no science to it. It is a flash in the pan kind of thing. You don't know what's going to do it. That's why you got to be consistent at what you're doing, and putting out there. The
Yeah,
other
and I don't think it's something that can be planned. You
No, it
you,
can't.
you can't
The
strategize.
spontaneity usually is what also is probably the only common factor sometimes in viral post is the spontaneity of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Otherwise, all the viral uh, stuff that you see out there would be posted by big corporate organizations because they would have invested in, or they figured out the secrets to doing it, but
yeah,
you don't see that, so it's obvious that there is no
th
secret. Yeah.
those are the agencies that make the Super Bowl halftime, kind of ads that, they hope will also, generate a lot of talk and gossip at the cooler. Again, same technique, but, very different in
Yeah.
format, you
Yeah.
know? The other thing that's gonna be is going to be a constant trend, because again, we're talking about creating community here, is personalization. um the people Here's what when I first joined TikTok, the Oh No song, if I had to hear that song one more time, I was going to stab myself through the ear. I literally had to just kind of watch it without. But it was a lot of teens, because when you first come onto the platform, they kind of push a lot of stuff there that are sobbing and talking, and you're giving all of these, your true life stories and stuff like that. Um, I come from a social media thing where you don't put as much personal stuff out there. And it seems like the raw emotion that you can portray on TikTok seemed to generate it. And that was like, I don't know. It's a lot like all of these reality TV shows. And I think that's what people on there, especially the younger demographics, try to go ahead and put themselves to, is to become a reality star, on social media, almost. And there's a danger to that. So it's a balance. It's a fine balance. You want to be personable without being someone who overshares very sensitive information. And
How-
it's a fine balance. I think with maturity that comes when we are younger, you don't really kind of take in all of the consequences at, you're just not there yet. And consequences don't always matter to you as much when you're younger. So I think in a way, um as parents, as grandparents, as that's something we do have to help younger generations jumping on with. And same thing with artists. You can be genuine on there and kind of protect yourself in the oversharing thing. Because I have seen some artists go really out on the oversharing stuff. They're like, you got to just, there's way to share your day without giving so much information, like where your children go to school. Because your art may, in some cases, offend somebody. And this day and age, you really need to be protective of some of your privacy.
So should artists, based on that, I would think it'd probably be a good idea for artists to maybe kind of separate their personal
The
pages
personal
from their
account, yeah. Have a
professional.
personal and a personal account, people you don't mind sharing that information with. And then, like I said, with the Facebook pages and having a business profile on Instagram, your entrepreneur page, because really that's what you are as an artist. You are a business,
Mhm.
and that's how you would. And I want to say, as James, and maybe you can kind of give into this, because I have here in San Antonio, we had a business owner. I think it was like a ramen shop, who the owner was putting his personal politics and beliefs on his business site,
Mhm.
and he suffered very awful backlash. The business had been vandalized several times since. It put his employees in jeopardy. And so at some point like that, a lot of people are like, when you have a business, you got to kind of separate your personal side and your business side. Your business is not always a reflection of your personal politics or your personal beliefs, and your employees may not have that same uh, belief system that you have, but
It
you
creates
keep
a
them
lot of,
different.
yeah, it creates a lot of conflict when you try to do mix
Both.
your personal ideologies or belief system with your business. Now, some companies, and I'm a strong believer in this, that uh, if your company is based on attracting a certain group or segment that you know has a similar belief system or similar ideologies, and then that's a little bit different. But
Hmm.
most companies aren't like that. Most companies try to be, I guess you
Of
could
the
say,
general public.
yeah, they want to be, they want to be welcoming to everyone,
And
regardless of the person's belief system or what have you. I think many business owners want their businesses to be that way as well, but people like that, the owner of that restaurant, I'm guessing, did not really, had kind of forgotten about that. Because
yeah, and I mean that, and lessons learned,
yeah,
and businesses nowadays have to think about that. I mean, everything
yeah,
we say or do, especially on a digital platform, is out there.
yeah, and it can
So,
impact your business. So if you're, as an artist, and I've talked to artists about this, if you're selling, if you're trying to market your paintings to a wide, you know, segment of you know, of art buyers, um, maybe you want to keep your politics out of, uh, you know,
yeah.
the discussion, because there's nothing like alienating your customers that have been fans and followers of you. That
Hmm.
you don't want to do that, because it can really hurt you. You can literally, um, based upon a belief system that you have, if promoted or, um, I guess, if discussed the wrong way, um, you can lose half your base.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so now,
and
there might be, if that's fine for you, if you don't mind taking that risk, or if your belief system is so strong, and
or
you're
paramount in
yeah,
your
that's that's fine. Do it.
yeah,
You don't, but just understand what the
that
consequence.
that could be the consequence, exactly.
So, go in there knowing
Mhm.
versus just don't be naive,
Yeah,
in the process. But to prevent from falling into that trap, I think that's why it's good to keep your personal
and you're
stuff away. I don't want people to know about, you know, my trip to, wherever,
yeah.
that,
But your friends and family, you're fine
oh,
sharing
yeah,
that with. Yeah.
yeah. Um,
I mean, like I say, my Facebook profile like that. It's usually I tell people if you're on my Facebook profile, I know where you live.
mhm,
And if you're not, you're on like on my fan pages of stuff, like we get together on social media groups that I'm in or artist groups that I'm in. I like that about Facebook. I like the groups. I like engaging with people I've never met that have new ideas, but there's that buffer. They're not in my personal profile to see, my where my daughter goes to school, who my, it's I like that about it. Although I'm not a very, I don't feel very like I have to hush everything, like I'm hiding from the CIA or anything. But it's,
but
I still am like cautious about who I
yeah,
put in my personal profiles.
but the bottom line is, if you as an artist want to grow your followers, grow your fan base,
Hmm.
okay,
Be inclusive.
you have to be, yeah, you have to be inclusive. Not to the extent that you sacrifice your own morals in the
Yeah,
process, but you don't want to. You just understand that what you post or how you post will affect, or has the potential to affect
exactly. You
your
also have, and the thing is, artists and collectors come from very two different economic backgrounds.
Mhm.
Just how it is. And so it's you have to be careful because working in even an art gallery, I mean, I was, I'm there in Austin with people who have homes that are in, the millions of dollars, and you go in and you get and they do get, as is in sales, you kind of start to kind of develop relationships with the people who buy from you, and you hear their politics and you hear their points of view because they feel comfortable sharing with you, and it may not be your thing, that you've got to have some kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, obviously I'm not going to jeopardize this, you know relationship here because I need to sell the artist's stuff still to this person. And sometimes that's why gallery representation might be good for you if you just don't feel you can do that. That's where another place where gallery representation might help. But there was a trend that I have never seen on here, and I want it to become a trend because it's something I keep pushing all the time. Is converting followers to email lists. Okay, and you will hear me on a number of these always bring this issue up. None of these platforms, your profile, none of it belongs to you. It belongs to Facebook. It belongs to Instagram. And if they decided to get, let's say, sued or something, and the platform shut down, where do those followers go to find you? If you've been converting those people into, I want to say almost true followers, they're on your email list. You know how to get a hold of them in various ways.
Yeah,
That's why another reason it's you'll see people on multiple platforms, and it's why it's good to be on multiple platforms. Um, because
and
sometimes they'll go down. I think several times since I've been here, Facebook has gone down.
yeah,
Um,
email still has the yeah. I'm that's it's so important
it
because
is.
uh, you whenever you use someone else's platform, you're at their mercy. So if they decide
Mhm.
they don't want you on their platform for whatever reason, um, or something happens, you know, where you can't use them anymore, and you have 100,000 followers, well, suddenly you no longer have 100,000 followers.
Yep.
And there's so many stories out there of people that have become successful in showing their artwork, displaying their artwork, what have you, that have gotten banned from these platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they're like, you know, what do I do now?
Yep.
So yes, you definitely you want to take the initiative and be able to control that list as much as possible. And one of the best ways is to try to get their email address. People
Yep.
say email marketing is dead, and it's not.
It isn't. It's
No.
still
It still
way.
has one of the highest conversion rates, uh,
Mm-hmm.
much higher than social media.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of places that try to go ahead and reach out to the SMS, which is a text based, which I think is the most annoying thing in the world as a consumer to get things.
Yeah,
It's my last, that I don't want. It's like there's people I don't give my phone number to, and yet it's intrusive. So
mhm.
SMS is like, or email, there's they ki and if people are like me where you have like 40, 50 emails, I do have some that are specific for, okay, well, I just want to sign up to get this free thing and I know I'm going to get the junk mail, so it's going to go to this particular email.
Yeah, people are kind of like become, I guess, almost uh, tolerant of people. I think are not as I don't know, just don't have a they have a more neutral opinion on email than they did
Yeah,
past. Some people would get emails, promotions, and say, I can't stand it. It's I'm getting all this spam. And now
mhm,
I think people are like, yeah, that's just part of email.
part of it. Yeah, you just go look
So
for what you want.
yeah, but
And like I said, or you have a dedicated spam
yeah,
email.
I mean,
Uh,
spam does a good job. Of course, sometimes it
yeah.
you miss emails because it goes into your spam. It happens.
Yep, exactly. That's a lot of it too. The
Um,
other kind of trends that we're seeing, like, and we're going to go into a little more, is video. There's also the social audio platforms like Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces. That's kind of becoming a thing. I laugh. I kind of think this is all of us old or people who did and who like NPR and stuff like that that kind of come up with this. And it's kind of like if you're a podcast person, these things are great because it can have these really organic discussions going on. Um, and you can either be a panelist sort of type person in there or you can just be a listener. So social audio platforms are another kind of trend coming around. And again, like I said, this is something you're never going to see leaving, is going to be building a social community. We are trying to build community really with you by sharing what knowledge we have. And we do. And I mean, there's a lot of you guys that I have gotten to know that are not here in San Antonio, Texas. Those of you that I've gone to shows, at different art fairs, and I've gone up to your booths to meet, and we've just kind of had always had maybe an email discussion, or I see your post on Instagram. We're building a social community here, um, and that's part of what you really need to do. And we're going to talk about tactics to do some of that. The another trend that you're seeing coming up is augmented reality. All of these virtual galleries that are starting to come out, which sprung out with NFTs. So the augmented reality of having more to just a painting, which I have seen some artists and groups use art to do I just want to say in such an innovative way. So we'll talk about some of that. Let's get into the next slide. Like I said, make it easy for people to find you in case you get, taken down from one social platform. Try to keep your handles the same or at least as similar as possible as you change from platforms. And really, honestly, that's part of the reason I have so many different social platforms on my phone, is that I'll go claim the name on a new one just in case it becomes something. I try to claim the name, and a couple of times I'll run into where somebody does have it. They've beaten me to it. But try to keep your names similar as possible so people can find you. Try to keep the profile picture the same across the different platforms. Use a social media reference landing page like Linktree or Link in Bio, where you have sites like TikTok or Instagram where you only get one clickable link on your profile, because this will allow you multiple ways to do that. If you go to FinerWorks Instagram, you'll see that we have a link tree and it'll show you to our YouTube, to our main page, maybe to a new product we're talking about that was in the latest post. Those kind of things are going to help you communicate with your audience. So make sure to utilize one of those. The other thing you're going to want to do with social media is still routinely post. Try to be constant, something that you have up there. Not every post is going to be a viral post. Not every post is going to get a million likes. It takes time. Especially, it's harder now than it was before, to
There,
gather people just from posts because of how the new, I want to say, all the algorithms that are kind of going, and again, because Facebook owns Instagram and Facebook, you're not seeing a lot from the people that you're following.
is,
You
is
have to
there
get engagement to do that.
is there it seems though that there is a trend, and maybe I'm just seeing it with TikTok, but I think we've had someone ask about this as well, is uh, um, for these platforms, they want you to post more frequently, or basically you're encouraged to post more frequently and more often, because otherwise uh, you don't get found. I mean, you have to post frequently and often. There's almost a trend moving in that direction. Is that true?
You have to be a good worker bee, basically, for them. Remember, you are a content creator on all of these platforms, and they need you to constantly be doing. Again, it also is the credibility that they're trying to get out of your profile. Constantly posting shows that you're a human, and depending on what it is, not the Ray-Ban ads or anything like that. It's You're posting about being at an ice cream parlor. You're posting about, your day at the beach. Those kind of stuff is they want that out there. So you have to be a good worker bee for them. So that's why routinely posting is part of the algorithm. It's you're creating the content for them.
Mhm.
Um, the other thing you do again is engage with audience via video. Again, hearing video again, guys. Reels, post, and lives. Those are going to be some of the best ways you can kind of keep interaction going. Again, we do these some nights and we don't have people on here, and it's not a bad thing. We're going to have it live we have this like on our YouTube to be watched again later. Um, Getting people call, and I know it works because we get the emails, we get the calls, we get the people who walk in here and tell us they watch the videos. Um, and that's what we want to hear. And is that it does that. It is bringing in the people that we want to talk to, the artists, the photographers. We get them in here. So that's what all of these videos and stuff does. It kind of lends, again, credibility. You get to see my face, you see James's face, you get to see the people behind here. In fact, we started featuring our employees in a playlist on our YouTube, and we put that out on our newsletter too. Just one that y'all can get to see that it is another community here in San Antonio, Texas, working on your prints and getting them out to you. There are parents, talented artists, all working back there, doing that. We wanted to share that with you. And that's why you see these videos too. Again, it helps that community build. So engage with your audience via video. Again, convert these to email subscribers. I'm going to keep going on about it. It's something I never see in social media that I just want to keep on it. I always hear about, getting followers, doing, I never hear convert these to emails. And I want to say you need to do that. It needs to be just second nature, you finding ways to get those people's emails, because you need to have that. Know
And
your collectors and know where they digitally hang out. Talk
yeah,
to them, buy
I
your
want
stuff.
I wanted to just chime in on one more thing about the email subscribers, that
Hmm.
there are tools. Most artists have a website. There's maybe they're on Shopify, Wix, Squarespace, what have you. There's plugins for Constant Contact, for
MailChimp.
Mailchimp, and a
Mhm.
number of other uh, email list or mailing list uh, programs out there that you can utilize, so you can easily collect email addresses.
Yeah.
So put that off. Start it today. It's never too late. You
No.
because I guarantee you, 5 years from now, there's a good chance you will wish you had done so.
It
And
becomes your bread and butter.
it's
Really will.
very little effort. Get it up there. Start collecting those email addresses and look at it as a long-term investment, because eventually
Yep.
it's going to really
Even
be.
even your Square POS helps you do that. So every way you can get those emails, get them in there.
Yeah.
And that was I was saying, know your collectors and where they digitally hang out. Have that conversation with them, like, were you on Instagram, or find where these people are finding you at. And then, like I said, if you hear something new, maybe there is a new secure group, a private group, even on Facebook. Go ahead and try to get an invite to that group. You just want to find out where virtually these people are hanging out with and try to participate in that virtual group as well.
Yeah.
Yep. And then let's get to the next slide. Again, we're going to keep going on with engaging with that community. Let's see. Again, that video that we were talking about, live, and have a way for them to engage. Just the way we do these lives, even though we went from Zoom to this StreamYard, which lets us do multi-streaming. The reason that I ended up liking this platform is that it still let me go ahead and get your comments in, and I can share them on screen. Um, so that engagement happens. I'm able to take your questions, as you have them when we're doing these discussions. So find a live platform that you like, and find a way to have an engagement still with the audience watching. Other ways to engage are still with contest questions. You can post with some questions like what you think about this. Where's the farthest you came to come see this art show? Little things like that, um, just to get that engagement going. And again, also to get to know your audience. Reposting other people's posts. It's something I love doing, again, with the unboxing post that we have with FinerWorks. It's been one of my favorite things, actually. And I discovered so many artists that I like. Uh, Being an art junkie, it's probably really bad for me working at a fine art print company and stuff, because I probably buy a lot of your prints here, and they actually go to my house. And it's funny because I know I'll see them sometimes pass through the cutting boards here. But it's I like engaging with y'all stuff, and I discover artists through our post on there, which I'm hoping some of y'all do too, because I know artists really support and buy from other artists as well. Um, like, comment, share on other people's social. Like I said, being engaging yourself with other people's things, and I try to, even on our finer works, to go through. Thank you guys for stuff. Be authentic. Be you to attract your collectors. That don't don't go get like, you'll see a whole bunch of these influencers that want to show you how you can buy their marketing funnel. They can do this, and they go into like an Airbnb millionaire house, and they get like rent a Lambo and everything. And you go meet them, and they're like, they can't, scrape $2 together maybe for McDonald's, but it's like, you don't want to be a fake person online, because honestly, it comes out. It shows. And with the nature of the internet, people like to do that exposure with stuff. They want to make people um, kind of visible for being fake. So make sure you're authentic. Thank people. That's something I try to do on every unboxing post, is to thank, not only for them doing, the post and mentioning us, but, thank you for the review, or thank you for trying our new product and giving us your feedback. Um, Sometimes that's not, always the best feedback, but we're like, thank you for that feedback. Maybe we hadn't thought of that. And so just be, thanking people, be grateful. There's also that 80/20 rule that's always there. So 80% of your posts, you shouldn't really ask for anything. I still say find a way to have them at least find you, website, whatever. You just like, I have more art too. If you like this, I can't help it. I have to talk about, and I usually want to see more on a post. And then the 20% where it is a direct sales post. Remember, what you're doing with all of this, engaging your community, is you're curating your collectors. Um, so, with all this talk about video, let's kind of go into it. And user generated video or video reviews are persuasive because they are relatable and they're unscripted. Remember, we're talking about that spontaneity of a video, and they're authentic. People are going to say, that's why I said word. It's basically because it's still word of mouth advertising, and it's why we use it. Um, and adding a video to what you have, maybe asking a collector why they collect your work, might resonate with somebody. If you're lucky enough to have a celebrity collector who might just, if they would appear on camera for you, or take a picture with you holding the art that they bought, something like that is like, just no way you're going to be able to pay for something like that. It is, it's a gold. It's internet gold. So try to get some of those like that. Those testimonials on your from your collectors are going to be some of the biggest things that push you through. And also because other people that they probably know other art collectors, because you like talking to people who collect art and find it as interesting as you are. So you want to be on their list. You want to be able to be the thing that they share on their Facebook and their social. So I'm going to give you some video ideas, because I know this is something that I'm not even going to say I like being on video. I actually do not like being on video, though we do these all the time. And I've worked in television and I've done these. I just somehow fall in front of the camera. I'm not crazy about it, but having something to say is the only reason that gets me there, is I feel like I can help somebody.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I want to say one of the big ones is going to be your whips, your work in progress. Collectors love that. I love watching progression art videos. I like mural art videos, watching from a blank wall into these really beautiful, elaborate pieces come up. Get that going. It's something that's going to entertain them. Um, have you seen the story times? If you're not familiar with story time, it's where somebody is doing something, like maybe a creator who is doing an Etsy project of how they're packing up this thing, but they sometimes use an audio that's already on TikTok that's kind of famous, like, maybe a murder story or something along those lines, an unsolved case. And the and other times you can do your own story time, like, hey, I'm going to tell you this story about the one time I was doing a live paint at a bar here, and supposedly this bar is haunted. You don't have to just talk about your art. Sometimes those little stories are also things that are going to get picked up and popular, and it shows your art because it's coming from your video. So that's where you can kind of use story time at. Combine your other interests. Some of you guys also are just, multi-talented. You got poetry, your music, and then you have things that you like, maybe your meditation. You can put things like that, things that you do on here. I think if you watch Mary Jean Runke, who's been one of our customers here, who does fabulous on TikTok and Instagram Reels. Um, it's you get to see her goats. She's got goats, and that's just fun to see on there. And it's not always about her art. So other little things like that are lighthearted, something you can share, something you don't feel is very intrusive. Go ahead and share that interest, because again, finding those like people to come to you for that, more than likely to they may end up liking your art as well, because art is such a personal buy, and being personable like that and letting them get to know you kind of creates that emotional bond for that purchase. So try to have some of those on there. Interviews, you can also have a friend interview you. It doesn't have to be something that you like. you know People who keep trying to get interviewed about their shows coming up, right? They're hoping the news station, the newspaper, somebody will come out there and interview them so they get more. Make your own interview, have it out there, and let other people share it. Don't wait on the traditional news outlets to get out the story. Go ahead and create your own interview about your upcoming show. Your thoughts on a well-known artist, Banksy, Warhol, Magritte, Frida Kahlo. Talk about artists that you like, who have inspired you. Give your opinion on maybe your own art critique on something, like, I like this Banksy stuff on here, but I totally feel like he's probably, a whole group of people. Here's my Banksy conspiracy theory. What's yours? Things like that are also something really engaging. And honestly, because you're an artist, other people who may be collectors who are not artists like to hear those kind of thoughts from somebody who's in the art community. Um, Live videos, as again we are saying, answer questions, or take it out to an event, maybe offer some kind of mentoring on videos. If you watch our first Thursday, Jim Landers, who does this, he does a lunch where he mentors upcoming local photographers, and that's just something there too. It's something you can kind of give back, is with mentoring, and you have a good platform to do that. Showing your art that is for sale. There's another part in that 20%, have a live sale on Instagram or on your Facebook Live. Your video reviews of the products you use, just like a lot of you do the unbox videos for us, doing them on paints you use, maybe a local art shop that you go to, doing stuff like that where you're basically almost cross promoting, because one, you're hoping that they're going to go ahead and they share your post, and it gets seen by a little bit more. It's traction, it picks up that post. So try to do your own video reviews of products and stuff that you use or places you go to. um, Talking with other artists. These are videos I like. I guess this is where I probably should be able to relate to my daughter watching gamers play. I like to watch. I think somebody was telling me about drunk history, and some friends and I had thrown around the idea of the drunk artist talks kind of thing, because there is nothing better than being around a bunch of artists with a couple of bottles of vodka, wine, and things going on, and the discussions that come out of those talks. So getting with another artist and chatting right there is something, another kind of content that people would like to watch. And you're an artist, so kind of cool that you have yourself easily accessible to yourself. So get another artist and maybe record some of those talks. Maybe even give a virtual class on there too, things that people will share. These are some of these ideas that you can start today, tonight. Start kicking out the video. Tag us. Let us know where to find it so that we can do it. Look on our playlist if you need ideas. We have customer. It's like customer reviews playlist on our YouTube, and you'll see where other customers have talked about our products and stuff, and you can create some of those for yourself. Got about 6 minutes. I'm going to try to go through a lot of this. This is IRL to virtual and virtual to IRL followers. And IRL is in real life. So gather followers from real life. Use a QR code to direct people to your website, newsletter, sign up form, or your social. It's if you have flyers, or have that QR code somewhere wherever you cannot be, and let it direct people to you. Leave more than a tag with art hanging in restaurants, venues, and retail spaces. Leave an experience. I want to talk about these art, because they're a group of NFT pioneers. I want to say that are using art from an artist in Florida, I believe. And that's who they kind of commissioned. And he has like they're like the Dumbledore dogs kind of thing. It's like a Harry Potter and puppy kind of mix. But they also got with an app developer who created this app that you go ahead and you take it and you put it on uh, the the canvas print, and it animates it, and you could see all of these things happening. It kind of partnering up with somebody like that to give an experience where, and you, this would be great because restaurants, places like that would love to have it, right? They come in, their customers can go in there and they download the app, maybe off of a QR code on your tag, and they go see the whole entire like animated augmented reality thing. And this is like Pokemon Go, basically. You know, and you have a little creature moving around on your screen. I mean, my daughter used to play that, and I'm not a big Pokemon player. I used to screenshot that stuff to play with her because I just thought they were so cute. Things like that that get people engaged in wanting to interact with your art. I think that's a fabulous idea. I think it, like I said, it gives an experience and it makes you sought after. So do something along those lines. Be innovative like that, because you're going to take people who are doing this and they're going to go want to look and find you online. Now, take those people that are following you online and get them to come to your shows, invite them. And when they do show up, really meet them, acknowledge them for showing up and make them feel special. Maybe post the picture of people who've come out for you, because again, you're creating community. People buy from people they know. It's sales 101, and that's what you're trying to go ahead and get an established relationship to happen, to do that, to go ahead and get collectors. And all in all, like I said, while all of this stuff is on here, always practice security with your Facebook stuff. Remember to, I know my daughter's always on me about having a 20 character password, the passphrase. Um, and she's, you know, buy yourself a password journal if you have to, because you need to find a way to keep your Instagram, your followers secure by going ahead and protecting that. Don't release sensitive information. Don't have your address showing in the back of videos. Um, be cautious if you're showing your children out there. Just like I said, practice common sense safety standards. There's a lot of social media resources out there. I'm going to try to talk to you about these really quick. And that is this, there's social media management tools. I know a lot of people say, oh my God, I can't post every day. Maybe investing, and that's what I hate, is that this is an investment. There isn't too many free ones, and especially that are good. And these let you schedule your post and use a calendar. There's Hootsuite, Sprout Social, Social Pilot, Loomy. I just heard of Loomly, and I want to check that one out. Good price. It sounds like it gives you a lot of profiles to go ahead and manage with. But using those will help you get into getting in that regular routine of posting. Stay up to date on social. I like to read Social Media Examiner. They have their own the website, the newsletter. There's a podcast on Spotify that I listen to. And then there's social media meetup groups. If you can get a part of that in your local area and talk with people. When Twitter came out, we used to have a thing called tweet ups, when we would get together a bunch of businesses and basically tweet each other's businesses up right there while we're all sitting around this round table. These are some of those things you can do to kind of just stay up to what's going on. And you have other peers to help you with social media practices. Follow artists with big follower numbers and good engagement, and see what they're doing. You know, and here's just some of those platforms so you could see kind of again what their prices are. There's the $49 a month. You only get one user. That was Hootsuite. This is Social Sprout Pilot. I'm just trying to run through this really quick because we're almost out of time here. And let me get down to the last ones. This is Loomly. This is the one I just ran into. I'm liking their $59 one here. It gives you up to 6 users. So if you want to have like an assistant or your spouse or some other people who are helping you with that, and it gives you 20 social media accounts to link with that, which I think is really good. It's what I'm going to check out. I'll let you know my experience on it as I try it out. Spotify has Social Media Examiner's podcast on here, and I like to listen to Michael here talk about a lot of trends, things that are going on. It helps me understand a lot what's happening on with social media. So, Social Media Examiner is a really great resource to kind of get there and check out and get a bunch of tips. That QR code would take you to their podcast. Oop, I think I just added another slide in there accidentally. Didn't mean to do that. These are some of the most followed famous artists on Instagram. Of course, Banksy is up there with 11.1 million followers. A couple of ones that I like on there, which is Shepard Fairey at Obey Giant. He's at 1.3. Alec Monopoly is there at 1.4. There's a lot of artists on there. And I mean, sometimes, like I said, while it'd be nice to have a million something followers, follow the ones that are in, you know, 15,000, 13,000 followers and see what they're doing. One, because these accounts here are like celebrities. They're like celebrity artists. They don't have to work at getting followers. Their name is what's going to pull it on there. Then, like I said, things to look at on the horizon, things that you're going to kind of keep your eyes on and ears open for. It's going to be the Web3 and how it's going to go into virtual experiences and virtual galleries. Knowing that how it's going to create community, it's something you want to be aware of. You want to keep like I said, your eyes and ears on, see if you can find your place in that space. And really, that's going to be a lot of it. Just kind of staying in touch with all of these little things is going to keep you kind of up to date. And I'm really interested. Let me know what you guys are doing that's working. Share with your fellow artists what's working, and contribute to this community in the comments with all of this stuff on here. Because when you succeed, we succeed here at FinerWorks as well.
Yeah.
So, any of you have any questions? You can reach me at melissa@finerworks.com, and I'd be happy to answer those on there. And with that, James, it's 8:02, and
Yeah, I guess better close for the day. But I do like the idea of soliciting feedback on what's on the horizon, how people are utilizing Web3 virtual experiences and virtual galleries, because that is the wave of the future.
Mhm.
And we at FinerWorks and our organization we're partnered with, Geo Galleries, that's going to be important as well. So we're really looking forward to presenting some of these technologies, so to utilize
Yeah.
experiences. So
Yeah. So yes, let us know. Join us Thursday. We're going to have Jim Landers, who's always fabulous and generous at lending out his time and his knowledge. He's going to be talking about, from your print delivery to installation. It's something that kind of can give you an edge, whether you're a photographer or even an artist, just getting into this technique of kind of basically after the sale and following all the way through just to distinguish yourself a little more. So tune in. That's at 4 p.m. Central to 5:30 Central. And it's the same thing on our Facebook and on our YouTube, and you can join in through your dashboard and get a link on there. But join Jim and kind of get those questions there, because he's got a lot of stuff on there that is always amazing. His knowledge base is it's something you can't put an amount on.
this Thursday at starting at 4 Central Time to
Mhm.
5:30.
And I see Jim actually just caught us right there at the end. Hi, Jim. Thanks for we can't wait to see you on Thursday. So with that, guys, any of your questions, comments, if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave us a message. We will respond to it either through there, or you can, like I said, email me at melissa@finerworks.com. And James, thanks for hanging out and doing this. And thank you guys for participating. Sir, and thank you so much for your help today, too. And we look forward to seeing you all on Thursday.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay.